Hello. It's always good to be with you. I absolutely love helping women. My name is Carol Tuttle. If you're new to my work, I'm the creator of Dressing Your Truth. I think I'm live. Maybe I'm not. Oh, we are going. Thank you so much for being here. Say hello in a comment. Where are you tuning in from? We've actually got a fun post both on Facebook and Instagram asking you where you live in the world. And it's so amazing to see all the many locations that women have joined in with this life-changing program. We're going to talk today about something that has been at the core and the deepest part of my mission to why I've produced the work I have put out into the world. And that is the epidemic of women putting themselves down, women seeing themselves as flawed, being self-conscious of their appearance, their bodies. It's really an epidemic. It's something that's become culturally acceptable. And we're going to talk today especially about which of the 4 types that I teach in my energy profiling system actually have the most difficult time with this, letting go of it. Or maybe we'll see a trend in, I honestly think there's very few women in the United States, especially in the modern, more civilized parts of the world, that are free of this. And so can we even say that one type has captured the lead in making it, having the challenge of letting it go? I don't know. Maybe there's a unique quality to it based on type. We're going to take a look at that. And I have a fabulous guest that's joining me in a few minutes. So I have an exciting giveaway. As you know, I'm putting a lot of attention on this topic because I have a beautiful, life-changing 2-week course called GlowUp, Self-Image Transformation. We have this course in my healing center, healwithcarol.com/glowup. It's always there. It's evergreen. Yet 5 times a year, we pick a course that we choose to go through as a supportive community. That is actually the base of that is the private Facebook group. And so this particular course is starting March 18th. And I am putting out a call to the women that really feel the call. It's time to end this. And I thought about this for a moment, thinking, you've gotten conditioned to having it in your life. You have things that you cope with it, you override it, you move on in spite of it. So, if your motivation is for the benefit of you, I know you'll age better. You will age better. If this stuff is still nagging at you and going on, it increases all the what have become culturally accepted aging symptoms, your skin, just your body, your health. It weighs on you. It taxes you. You cannot get around that. If you have negative conversations and perceptions of your appearance, your body, your self-image, you're embarrassed, there's things you consider when making decisions that you have to filter it through, it will age you faster. Now, if you're not motivated for your own benefit, be the one in your family line that stops this pattern. Energy healing is a really dynamic, powerful tool to not only support our well-being, it reaches deep within our DNA and genetics to clean up what's been ongoing so that the family members following us, our posterity, gets the benefit of the healing we're doing. I know some moms are bringing in their daughters to do it with them, and even grandmas. I hope you'll enroll a daughter or a granddaughter that's 12 or up and gets them involved if this is starting in their life. It's going to be carried on. It's baggage that they're writing a story about who they perceive themselves to be that becomes the luggage they carry through their life. We asked recently in our Facebook group a question. I'll get to that in a moment. But first, the giveaway is 1 month of Healing Center membership for someone who would like to do the Glow Up course. If you would really like to do this, we're going to give it away. Share in a comment why you want to do it. And it's only $69. One person will win that. We hope to pick someone that maybe that's not an easy, go ahead and why you want to do it. Why would it benefit you? What have you learned so far that this could be of value to you? And if you're not chosen as the winner, let's go ahead and sign up anyway at healcarol.com/glowup. Now, my guest is someone that works for me. She's a complete opposite energy movement. If you've watched my lifestyle video, which I highly recommend, it's very like, as far as understanding why we get along with some people or have an instant relatability, and others we have to modify our expectations. We do this lineup of the highest movement human to the lowest movement, as far as it's just how we process the world, the extrovert movement versus the introvert movement. And I'm number 3 on this 12-person lineup. And my guest is very much, she's at the bottom. Now, what happens with that is her inner world is very busy. My outer world looks as busy as her inner world because she's a type 2/4. Many of you know her from our lifestyle group. And I've asked her to join us because she reviewed all of the comments when we posted. When did you first have this experience of thinking you had to be self-conscious about yourself? When did it appear in your life? If I were to ask my 2.5-year-old granddaughter, Mary, who's a type 1, Anne's daughter, are you pretty? I'm pretty sure she'd say yes. And so when, there's a moment in our journey that something presented that made us question how we look and how we appear to others, then that opportunity for our mothers was to help us be free of that and be really in that dialogue so that it doesn't become that baggage that we carry throughout our life, that we filter our self-perception through. But that wasn't the case, because most of us had mothers that were very, very committed to the cause of body shaming. I know my mom was. She was not an aid to me, but I was an aid to my daughters. And I'm excited because next week I'm inviting Anne on, and the conversation we're having next week is, how do you help your daughters and granddaughters in a time where it seems to have gotten worse rather than better, and helping them bypass this, not create that storyline of themselves, be free of it. She has a 12-year-old. She's right at the cusp of it. She's right at that, that point where we either buy right into it, believe it's true, or we're able to help our posterity navigate that and see the falsehood of it. So my guest, let's bring Colleen on. I want to welcome her. And I've skipped through a bunch of stuff in the agenda, Colleen, as you see. And I'm going to, again, the giveaway is a 1-month membership. Just make a comment somewhere. You're entered if you comment, a 1-month membership to help you get access to this course. Let's look at, I asked you, and you're the perfect one to do it, to review all those posts where we got a lot of comments. Were you surprised at how many women commented?
I was, and I was also surprised at the ages that were included in those comments,
really?
starting as young as 2.5 years old.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I got to start. You got to start noticing Mary.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I mean, there was lots of comments, 2, 3, 4, 5, many people saying kindergarten, because that was a time, of course, when you're exposed to a lot of people. If you go to, a public school or a private school, being around more kids, more parents that may make comments in the background, teachers, things like that.
There
And so
are big perpetrators of this, dads that think, have opinions about women getting fat or girls getting fat. Moms worried you're going to get fat. I'm going to talk about that with Anne. And Katie had a little bit of a chubby phase, and how Anne navigated that, because she's now really a healthy weight. And yet it was an interesting dilemma for Anne to know she didn't want to create that point of view for Katie that she had weight issues and couldn't love the way she looked. So Make a note of that for me to ask. Manager on top of it. She helps this all run really smoothly and all the details to get in place. So we have 4 private Facebook groups for each type, and then a collective one for the experience of having all 4 types in one group we call the Dressing Your Truth Lifestyle group. That's a benefit of your membership. Just for those that may want to get in one of our type groups, it is a bonus given to you when you buy a style kit. We want you to have the tools to shop correctly in order to be interactive in the group and learn properly. So that is one of the criteria, the purchase of the style kit. But from the 4 type groups, which had the most commentary with the question of when did you start being self-conscious of your appearance?
The most commentary was type 1. Which is typical. We have type 1s like to, participate.
Well, they're going to be the most social in the group anyway. So that is one factor. So we can't necessarily say they're hung up on this the most. That social quality gets them involved. Okay.
Right. It seemed like for type 1s, for what their feedback seemed to be that, especially as young girls, they felt confident and cute and happy and, thrilled with their outfit or thrilled with their, outing that they were doing, whatever was happening. And maybe there was a comment made by a parent, teacher, or another child about, what you're wearing is strange, or how you look is weird, or this is odd, whatever it was, something small, but was felt very deeply, and threw off their whole perspective of like, everything's great, wonderful, I'm happy, the world is happy kind of place. And then to have this comment. And sometimes it was something that was overheard, not even directly to them, but it was like, oh, somebody thinks this less of me, or that this is a flaw that I have that was never on the radar.
Yeah.
That's what I was gathering from most of those comments.
And then let's look at the body issues that each was facing. Type 2, I would think they're the worriers of the group. So I would think that they will, the worry comes in for trying to prevent, thinking ahead almost, like trying to prevent being embarrassed on how they look, being put in an awkward situation. So their way of where, like you said, it would catch a type 1 by surprise. What? Me? Like, because they're not even thinking. They have that believability that it's, what are you talking about? And then type 2s, I think parents can have a big play in the type 2 world, actually, in a woman's experience. If you're a type 2 and you're going to notice other women putting themselves down, I think, more than any other type. So you're the more silenced observer of, oh, I guess I should be concerned about that. You'll pick up the baggage from the culture, I think, more than any type.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
What's your grandma talking about? How are they referring to themselves? You're sort of being trained to not respect or even love your appearance based on the cultural influence. Has an effect on you more than any type.
Yeah.
Type 3, for me, I think it starts for us more strongly in junior high because we don't have the tools to work with our very young feminine, and we feel very boyish. That's my story. I completely inked out my 7th grade picture because I 100% believed I was ugly and had body shame and self-conscious habits all through high school and into college. And I never dropped those. It's only been really since Dressing Your Truth that it's really picked up my success in being free of all of them and doing my own healing work. That's been a huge player in changing the script in my head and my whole point of view. But I remember in that time period, type 3 girls can feel very out of sorts with their looks because we're in that awkward phase and Then the other phase for type 3 is as we age. Our skin ages more aggressively than any type. We start to lose our volume more. So then the criticism really picks up again in our appearance. Type 4, what did you notice with their commentary?
I think type 4s, there was a lot of that, again, with the younger years, people just saying comments. Also, type 4s tend to be, one of their gifts is perfecting. So when you're perfecting, when you're doing that, especially as more of an internal movement, when you have a perfecting eye for things, that can be a double-edged sword if you take it too far into the self-criticism category. And if there's a signal from someone else or from culture or from anything that you should be concerned already, then that's going to be magnified. If that's already
it's never good enough dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
My body's never good enough. The other thing I've noticed with type 4s, they have a point of reference to when it was more perfect, or they felt it was better at a different phase in life, different state. And that is the ultimate. Now you've got to get to that. It's kind of like, I've noticed that in the sports recreation world. Runners that hit I ran marathons a while back, and the type 4s never had any fun, because if they were even 3 minutes longer than their best time, it's like they didn't value it. Or the tennis, they felt like, well, they couldn't even play anymore because they weren't as good as they used to be. And so that is a factor as well. If you're a type 4, what are you measuring yourself against? It's maybe another person, a younger phase of your life. We change as women. We're in this is not a one and done. I've had to work on this myself as I now am in my 60s to say, what is the criticism I'm projecting on me with the obvious aging factors? And I notice it. And so I get to clean that up. So it's sort of like each turn as we evolve, we get to go, all right, new script. Oh, there it is again. What's your story with this? As a 2-4, first, how long have you been dressing your truth?
I've been dressing my truth for 13 years. So.
Okay. And is there anything that you were unsettled with before DYT that has really brought it into perspective just by knowing your energy type and knowing how to dress true to who you are? Now, especially with your secondary, because there's a lot in the type 2 world that would be too much for you. And just a quick shout out for getting a lifestyle membership, because that is where we finesse it and help you fine tune it. Because you can't do the cookie cutter look for your type. My goal is to help you create your own personal style. What was it for you that you're at odds with that DYT helped you resolve?
Well, I always had I know that all of us have a different sort of archetype in our brain, perhaps from childhood, that we want to look more like this or be more like this. And for me, that was always, I didn't have a term for it at the time, but type 4, like the look of models, the high contrast, high cheekbones, just that very striking, stunning appearance. And I have light skin, and my hair used to be like a little bit darker when I was younger. And so I sort of had a little bit of that going on. And so I really wanted to lean into that. And I thought the more striking that I can make myself look, the more I look like I have it together. Maybe I will start to feel like, like I'm a little more on top.
So you're trying to change your appearance.
Yeah.
You have a photo to share.
Oh yeah, I do. So this is a pre-DYT. This was a college.
How old are you there?
There, I think I'm 20 or 21.
Sorry. You look very unhappy.
Oh yeah, I was also very unhappy. But but you could see I had dyed my hair black. I had the middle part. I wore dark lipstick. Just trying to. I had thick dark black eyeliner.
You can see though in your face profiling characteristics how elongated and soft and connected your cheek is. There is no cheekbone there. It's not meant to be. You have that very blended quality to your features, and what we would call that downward movement, where even as time goes, you'll feel that, there's more, the cheek is as full at the jawline as it is up by the cheekbone. So that elongated cheek. So you were trying to change that in your appearance.
I was trying to change that, on the inside and the outside. On the outside for my appearance, and on the inside, I felt too soft for the world.
Yeah,
and I thought that was a flaw.
That's okay. You are. Colleen works at home. It's your happy place. Her comfort zone. No, the world's harsh for type 2s, man. It's intense. It's yeah.
And I just took that, of course, as being
that you were wrong
process, that I was wrong, that I was too weak or too sensitive, to this, to that, to this, to the nth degree. And so how could I change that? Well, it's real hard to change those inside parts, but you can try to change the outside parts.
So let's jump ahead 13 years later. And obviously, do you mind sharing your age? I didn't ask.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm 43. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're 23 years later than that time period, because perspective does, hopefully, the research I've looked at and studies says that for a lot of women, as we age, we get more clear and let a fair amount of this go, but then we get to do it again as we age. See, there's this sort of, we get about 5 years where we're kind of like, okay with ourselves. No. And so now that you're 13 years into DYT, where are you at with this being self-conscious or even body shaming? Are you still working on things? If so, what is it? Like, what's going on for you?
Yeah, so I've come quite far as I don't body shame myself anymore. I don't look in the mirror and say harsh things or think harsh things. I am still quite self-conscious about like certain parts of my body, certain, like, for instance, very easy one that I can show you all on camera is my hair. It's thinning, and that it's definitely like something that makes me self-conscious about it. And that's something that I am working through.
So you worry about it, and it's you probably jump at, a type 2 as a secondary force and does this too. It's just type 2 that you think ahead so far, if this is happening now, I won't have any hair in 5 years, that kind of thinking.
Right. And I, that's something that I thought about this week as I've been trying different hair products and things. And I thought about it. I thought, you know what, just do for today, just do today. It doesn't matter what it's going to be tomorrow, or like, just work with what you have going on today, and that'll be good enough, And that was
here is insider tip. I've been testing out my manufacturer of our amazing skincare line. Has a great formulation for a serum, hair serum. And I've been using it because one of my side effects to COVID was I lost hair right here. And I've been using it, and I'm pretty pleased with it. So see if Ann can get you a bottle. I want you to be a tester for it, because we are considering launching something like that, because I know that is let us know. My CEO, he's like, you need to ask our community, should we do that? Because that is a common, and fair enough to you and the women dealing with that. It's fair that you do feel self-conscious about that. So, navigating that in a healthy way, rather than just assuming you're stuck, that resources can be found in your life, and you'll manifest what will support. Because to me, there's something, as whether it's a nutritional factor, sure, but there's something in that production chain line that's just, so there's not a sorry for you. There are ways to correct that and turn it around. So you holding space for that will be an important resource for you. So back to the hair, let's share maybe 2 more that you feel self-conscious about. If you have them, maybe that's only one.
Oh, no, I do. I do. I will say, though, to go back to what you asked initially, though, like, I do feel so much more confident since starting Dressing My Truth than I did before, because now I can see my gifts internally, but also externally, what does make this woman beautiful, who's myself or who's somebody else. And that's really helped me appreciate that. And I realize the more I am appreciating about others, I can give myself that same appreciation.
Yeah.
So that's been a huge gift. So there's been lots and lots of work that's got into that over the years, but it's every year is better. So
yeah. And don't you think too, as you finesse your style, Dressing Your Truth gives you a major leap in the original event of it, of learning, oh, that's why, I'm a type 3, and if I wear a outfit that would look great on you, I'm going to considerably age myself by at least 10 years. And yet, if that's what I'm being sold that I need to wear based on who I'm looking to as experts to guide me, or even on what I just decide I want to, based on whatever, is what women in this age group wear, I could again blame myself, and I look terrible because I do. So that's like the first cleanup is start dressing your truth, really commit, get to know your secondary, put it into your style. It is life-changing with this in regard to our self-image and our perception of it. But it does, what I've learned from this past, I was very curious because as I've shared recently, it was the biggest motive in my passion to write this and take it to the world, was to help eliminate this exact thing of the negativity women inflict on themselves. And I realize we're not there. And so all of the ladies in the type groups and lifestyle, everyone, I hope you'll sign up for the GlowUp course, because really it's phenomenal to give you that next level. Now you're excited about the course, and that we really, our members understand the value of it, and our customers really embrace this. And I asked you, why is this so important to you? I've shared why it's important to me, but why are you so excited about it?
Right. Well, I'm so excited about it because I did go through this course in 2020 when we did it the last time, and I was able to heal many of the issues that were sort of recurring, and the negative thoughts that I had towards myself. Even though in my mind, you can say like, okay, you had that thought, that's not correct. Going through the clearings really, really helps you to release them. And so you're not just having a combat, at least for me, it's internal combat of thinking the thing, saying, oh, you shouldn't think the thing about yourself. You're better than that. That's, but to release it so that I'm not even having those conversations with myself was a really big deal. And so I was able to release a lot of things during that time. Now, since that time, I've had other things pop up. As you said, we go through cycles in our lives where, one thing, I've gained some weight since then, that I feel
that pass a lot has to do with your hormones changing.
Absolutely. And I came to this point in my life, which we all do, and that looks different for everyone. But when your hormones start changing, a lot of times, your body will start changing, even if you're doing every single other thing the same. And so how can I, work with that? And I know that this course, because I've been through it, I know that it has the powerful tools to really support me in like reclaiming myself and reclaiming my understanding and appreciation of my body and my beauty and my self-image. And that is going to make me such a better mom. It's going to make me such a better, effective person in my community, a better friend, a better daughter, a better employee, everything that confidence gives you. And when you're second guessing and feeling self-conscious, that takes away from that confidence. And it brings you down a notch. It's just your radiance and your glow and, everything that you can be motivated to do and the passion that you have in your heart is not burning quite as bright when you have those little self-conscious nigglings about, this and that and the other. It just it just holds you down a little bit, and that internal, in your heart space and in your mind and in your interactions. At least that's my experience. And so that's why I'm really excited to be able to just level up. I want to level myself up to where I know that
I've gotten several impressions in your behalf. So let me help. This is what happened. Yeah, I used to do coaching calls during these, and I have real women, or so far it's been all women pretty much. The hits I get for people are really distinct. So I think some of your weight is water weight, water retention. Are you using electrolytes?
No.
Okay, you need to add that. In fact, I'm hoping that's one of the next things I'm gonna look into, is creating my own electrolyte blend. You start every morning with some healthy electrolytes. Just make sure that there's not sugar in them or much. But what happens when we're not getting the electrolytes and the sodium in the water, our body will just pass it through. We'll retain it, and our organs and tissues and muscle, all of that's not getting the water it needs. That electrolyte will help the body absorb the water to make it useful. Then my other thought was, Colleen has 3 boys. She's been a single mom for several years. She does have a significant other that's a great male presence in her boy's life, and has been for several years. But if you were the mom, this is what happens with boys, with moms with insecurities, physical appearance. They're aware. Kids pick up on this stuff. What happens is they are more likely to marry women that are even more pronounced in those insecurities, because they've learned to play a role for their mother. See, and this is why we're changing the storyline for our families, not just for daughters, but for sons. Because you'll be then the mother-in-law that thinks, oh my gosh, she's so hard on herself. And my son's always trying to build her up. And I'm like, well, where did he learn to do that? And what role did he play for you? There's always an earlier origin to it. You want to end those messy things that we just don't need to bring into partnerships anymore. Let's teach our children to be accountable and self-realized humans that want to be good people. And this is not helpful. It's old stuff. It's old stuff. My mother's time, it was prolific in a different way. Now, it's just the point of reference for what beauty looks like is quite morphed, in my personal opinion. And to think you need to age without a wrinkle is unrealistic. It's just not, nor is it beauty. I've got plenty of lines in my face, my neck. I do a good job keeping my skin very healthy now that I know what I know, and I have the products I can do to support that. And so I'm not trying to stop aging. My intent is to age as well as I can. And so I'm grateful for what I've learned I can share with other women. Anything else you want to share before we wrap up your guest? And I just have a few announcements.
Well, I would just love to invite everybody to really consider being a part of this course. It's really life-changing. I mean, my whole healing center experience has been life-changing for sure. But this is a really great plan to get in on. And
it's only 2 weeks.
It's only right. It's only 2 weeks. There's a 2-week free trial. You can do it on the free trial if you've never been in the healing center.
You got extra time to do other stuff. So
yeah. So if you are addressing your truth, this really goes hand in hand with it. It's like the next piece of the puzzle to your self-confidence and to appreciating yourself and appreciating others too. And definitely, like Carol said, not only if you have daughters, but sons as well. That's something that I heard a lot from my mom, and it's something that I have, consciously tried not to pass on, but there's an energetic component there. Even if I don't say things about my weight or my this or my that, there's still an energetic component. Yeah. So even if you're doing a really good job of that, there's, people still feel it, especially your kids.
Yeah.
So that's what I would share. It's been life-changing, and I'm looking for the next life change to level up in a couple of weeks.
Well, thank you for joining me today. You're always a pleasure. Thank you. So real quick, enter to win a free 1-month membership to the Carol Tuttle Healing Center, which will give you access. I have 14 courses in there. We do 5. You can do whatever you can go through any of the courses anytime. We just choose in a group experience to do 5 a year that will, in the private Facebook group, the majority of the group members will be going through this course starting March 18th. And what does it involve? There's some journaling that's very revealing. There's daily practices that include listening to an affirmation audio. I'm helping you change the way you think. You've got to train your brain to have different thoughts. There's, I think we do have a daily script in there, which is different than the affirmations. That's about wanting to really create a different experience with your personal relationship with your body and appearance. And then you have week 1 activities, which are healing sessions, where I use tapping as the methodology or the modality, I should say. And you can tap with me, you can listen to it, you can just tap on your collarbones. Tapping is a mechanism that we're tapping on really specific acupressure points that help let go of both the psychological imprints that we carry, the neural pathways that we have on this. That's part of it. Your brain is trained to think this way, and the emotional energy we carry, and to let ourselves really flush that. There's reframes so that we're shifting the energy into the positive. You get access to the Facebook group that has phenomenal members with incredible support and community experience. And you do 2 weeks of the different healing sessions and a few other activities I have in there. And you've really launched yourself now on being more accountable to yourself to continue to change the story that you've carried for decades. I mean, I look at these comments in the groups and my Facebook page, we posted this, how long, when did it first start? Decades. I'm grateful to be in a place that I can be a role model for you, to say it's possible. And it's possible very quickly to shift this. I'm grateful for myself. I'm grateful for my posterity, that this isn't the conversation that we have with our own experience within the females of my family. There's not, I think it's very minimal, if there is any, of that derogatory reference. I'm going to talk to this is my prediction. I want to film this. Hopefully I'll be able to get over to my daughter Ann's house. I want to ask my 12-year-old granddaughter the question, do you have any negative references to your appearance? And this is what I hope this type 3-4 girl says. No, Grandma. Why would I? That's how it'd come out. I hope she'll say that. That'd be awesome. Gold. Job accomplished. Because definitely I've invested myself in this work to bless my family members. So I hope you'll do the same. Enter in a comment if you want to win that 1-week membership. Couple updates. The GlowUp starts March 18th, but you can get in there now. Go enroll now. Go listen to some affirmation tapes. Go get in the Facebook group. See the amazing people in there. Get to know them. We purposely position this to happen the 2 weeks before we start Spring Summer Style School. And I am so excited for this. 14 trends. I've revealed 2. One I've revealed is preppy casual. And then my last broadcast, I revealed, what was it I revealed? Clean? What did I reveal? Somebody tell me. I'm like, I was wearing it. What was it? Oh, girl core, girly, going girly. And I realized, the easiest way for anyone to implement a girly accessory, socks. Bows are something cute on your socks. I mean, anybody can do that, any type. But see, casual, preppy isn't such a stretch for me because there's a lot of type 4 in it. But girly is a big stretch for me. So I'm really excited to be I'm currently we're all writing our content. We not only look at each type, but with every 14 of the trends, we give you recommendations with shoppable links and images of what you could incorporate in your style for every dominant and secondary. I get to do 3-1, 3-2, 3-4. Anne's working on 2-1, 2-3, 2-4. So we're all curating this content. So we're excited to launch that on April 1st. And hope you're enrolled if you're a lifestyle member. And it is a huge value to just up your style overall and understand what you feel great in as a woman. And then we have new jewelry dropping March 19th. And we're starting a new event, which is a live broadcast with all 4 of our experts teaching you how to style certain pieces, what pieces would lend themselves to different secondaries, which could be crossovers. So we're going to go live on March 19th. I think we're at 10 a.m. and we'll be one long stream, 10 minutes each. We can keep it to that, and you'll get to interact with us each individually. So Jalea, Ann, and Calista will be a part of that. The next Friday, as I said, on the 15th, I'm going to come live here again, bring my daughter, Ann Tuttle Brown, to answer the question, is it possible to raise daughters and granddaughters with no issues about their body in today's world? So I look forward to that as well. Save the date, put it on your calendar. And thanks for your sharing, every one of you that shared something about, I hope you'll just not choose to live with that compromise, but you'll make the choice to rise above it and really live in the fullness of who you are as a woman, because your reach and influence is great, much more than you realize. And what a gift to be a woman who really knows herself in a humble place of gratitude, and to be of service in this world, because you are dragging yourself down with your own inner practice. So we'll look forward to meeting you in the Facebook group. I'm active in that group, and I love supporting everyone in there. Thanks for tuning in today. Please share this in your own personal way. If it's just telling someone, or share it on your Facebook page. We are so grateful for our members. The best way for my work to get out in the world is through those who have used it to better their lives. And you are truly the best testament to the value of what we have to share with the world. So thank you for sharing it. And we'll keep talking to you here in the social media world. Thanks for tuning in.